Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rick Grimes for President. I'm here again to bring you another Walking Dead episode review. This is of The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 6, Hounded. And I have my friend here, Aaron Crunk, who we're kind of going to switch it up and do like an interview type review here. So I got Aaron here,
Hey guys.
and let's get started. As you know, last episode, Michonne left Woodbury. And basically she didn't trust the governor, and I'm just gonna ask Aaron, what do you think of this Michonne character? I've read the comics, so I know how she develops and what happens to her. But since you haven't read the comics,
Nope.
what do you think about the TV character Michonne and how she's playing out throughout this season?
I think the scenes we've seen her in, she's really awesome. She's got a lot of cool scenes. She kills some zombies in a pretty cool way. From what we saw in this episode and previous episodes, I'd say she's a good person. She cares about people, but not so much that she's willing to risk her own life. She cares most about herself and keeping herself safe.
All right, and you can see in this episode, after she left, I'm guessing the governor ordered Merle to go hunt her down and kill her because he didn't want her finding anybody else and telling them about Woodbury. So this is what happens. Merle and his three henchmen, I'm gonna call them, goes and searches for Michonne, and they're in the woods. Merle's calling her out, and she pops up what looks like out of the top of a tree and just comes down ninja style and decapitates one guy, slices another guy, and takes away Merle's gun in a matter of 5 seconds. It's really really cool. Michonne is an awesome character. Um, and then Merle and her have a little bout, and Merle actually ends up getting a gun, shooting her in the leg and wounding her. So I'm really interested to see if she does get over this wound. As you can see, it does help her out because once they're fighting, after that gunshot, it attracts more walkers, which brings the walkers to their location, and Michonne slices one open, and its guts spill out on top of her. Which, as you know from season 1, Rick and Glenn go back into Atlanta to get the guns that Rick dropped during the first episode, and they use the zombie guts to spread on them so that they won't be attracted by their stench, and the zombies will think they're just one of them. So Michonne doesn't know this, and she starts to figure this out. And she does this, and the zombies don't get attracted to her. And you'll see why this is significant later on in this video, because at the end of the episode, you see Rick looking at her across the prison gate. Now, going back to the prison scene, now you know that Rick just received a phone call, which is crazy, receiving a phone call in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. I don't know who pays for that. But Rick receives a phone call, and who did you think this was, Aaron?
I had no idea who it was at first. I did think it was an actual person. I know now that you've told me that it was originally supposed to be him hallucinating Lori. I know now it's a hallucination, but originally I did think it was an actual person. I thought it might be somebody inside Woodbury maybe calling. I really had no idea.
Right. In the comics, after I went back and read, it was like this in the comics. Somebody answered, and it was a woman's voice, and they talked for a minute, and then they hung up, and then another person answered, and it was a man's voice, and then they talked for a minute, and they hung up, and eventually, the woman said, "Hey, this is Lori," and Rick was just kind of like, "No, no, no, there's no way. I'm freaking crazy right now," and he hangs up the phone. So you see that this is what happens. He waits around for a few phone calls, and it ends up being, Lori, Amy, Jim. It ends up being all the people that have passed away are coming back to talk to him and asking him what's wrong and telling him there's a safe place. Now I don't know if they mean that there's a safe place as in you need to come, you need to die, you need to come along. But if you're a comic reader, you know that there is a safe place that they do end up finding, and I'm not gonna spoil any of that since Aaron is here and he doesn't know what's going on. So I'm not gonna spoil any of that. But you comic readers know what happens, after the prison. So you see Rick kind of getting back to his senses. Herschel tries to talk to him, and he's kind of coming back, and you see him actually show affection to his child for the first time since the child's been born. And this was a really really good scene because you see him, hold his kid, and everybody's smiling at him. And also, last episode you see Daryl at the end of the episode put a Cherokee rose flower on Carol's grave because he assumes that Carol's dead. And as we know, at the end of this episode, we found out that Carol is indeed alive. She was held up in a cell. She lost her knife in a zombie's head after stabbing it in the face and not killing it. Of course, Carol, women, they can't kill zombies. Um, Not really though. That's not sexist. So girls, you should still watch my videos. But you know that Daryl, Carl, and Oscar, they all go, and they're clearing the prison blocks. They're just kind of searching around, and they split up, and Daryl and Carl are together, and Daryl tells Carl the story of Daryl's mom and how his mom died. And at the end of that, Carl was just like, "Yeah, I'm sorry that your mom died in the fire, but I shot my mom in the head. I killed her. It was real. I was there." And this kind of makes Daryl understand. In my opinion, I don't know if you think this, but a bunch of people have said that Daryl feels like Carl is his little brother of some sorts. Like they can connect with each other. And what do you think about this whole Daryl Carl relationship?
Yeah, I think, especially when Rick was kind of going crazy, Carl needs this father figure, and Daryl kind of stepped up to fill that. Especially you see him kind of taking care of the baby in the first episode that the baby was around. And I feel like that is a bond that's growing stronger. I'm kind of worried that maybe that'll cause some tension between Daryl and Rick. I don't know, but we'll see.
All right. You see, going back to Woodbury now. Michonne escaped. Merle wants to go back to the governor and tell the governor, you know, we got Michonne, she's gone. But um, his one of his henchmen that he's with doesn't want to lie to the governor. He wants to tell the governor, Michonne escaped. So Merle, being Merle, shoots him in the head and says it's my way or the highway, and he apparently took the highway. So um, you see Merle now, he's on his way back, and going back to the prison, Maggie and Glenn take a trip back to town because they're looking for baby formula and other, zombie apocalypse necessary needs. So they go to town, and they end up getting in a confrontation with Merle, with Michonne just hiding behind a car. Why is it that Michonne, being who she is, why do you think she just hid there and didn't even pop out or do anything?
Yeah, I was kind of concerned about that because I thought she would definitely try and help them, but maybe it's because she's injured. She did get shot in the leg, so that would slow her down a lot. And all of them had guns, and she was kind of far away, so it'd be hard to sneak up on them from that distance, I think.
Right. And you know, like you told me when we were texting during an episode, Glenn and Maggie both had guns. They should have shot Merle.
They could have shot him.
They could have shot him. They were scared. They had been safe in the prison for a while, just killing walkers, which, as you know now, aren't the biggest threat. People are the biggest threat. So they weren't used to getting confrontations like they had been before. And I guess they just kind of froze and didn't know what to do. And Merle ends up taking them hostage and taking Glenn and Maggie both hostage and taking them back to Woodbury, which is a really scary thought. Comic book readers, you know what happens at Woodbury. You know how crazy the governor is and how bad it gets. So I'm really excited to see how Glenn and Maggie get through this. And Michonne doesn't chase after him. She knows she's not going back to Woodbury. She ends up actually going back to the prison. Rick sees her across the prison yard, just standing there with a bunch of walkers, and he doesn't know what's going on. Michonne doesn't know what's going on, but she wants in. So this is actually tying her into the group now, which is really, really interesting. And also you see, going back to Woodbury, you see the governor and Andrea actually having a relationship now. And That's gonna come out because I don't think Andrew's a bad person. I think yes, her and the governor are good right now, but once she sees that Glenn and Maggie are hostage, I think something's gonna happen there, and it's gonna get good because now Michonne is with the prison, and she's gonna tell Rick about Woodbury, and the governor thinks nobody knows about Woodbury. So there's gonna be something there. Rick's gonna want to save Maggie and Glenn, and the governor, as you know, kills anybody who tries to mess with him. So what are you excited about? There's 2 episodes left before the mid-season finale. What are you looking forward to? What do you think's gonna happen in the 2 episodes?
I want to see. I know there's going to be a confrontation eventually. I don't know when. I want to see Michonne get more developed in the group. She made the right move. She brought the baby food with her. I think kind of like a
Yeah.
peace offering. And I want to see her just kind of get more developed with this new group she's with, and just some more tension gathered. That I think it'll make the big bang at the end that much more awesome.
Yep. So everybody, look forward to the next 2 episodes. The next 2 episodes are going to be really good. The mid-season finale is is written by Robert Kirkman himself, the writer of The Walking Dead. So that's going to be really good. So hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't turn into a zombie and eat brains, eat turkey, and tune into The Walking Dead this Sunday at 9. We'll see you guys later.